Justice G. Rohini, the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Asha Menon, the Member Secretary of NALSA, being escorted towards the D.S. Kothari Auditorium. A sense of anticipation palpable in the audience. This is indeed an important day for legal practitioners and for the beneficiaries. And here he arrives on stage.
It is indeed a privilege to welcome the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Your presence has blessed this occasion, sir. We also extend a warm welcome to Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, Shri D.V. Sadanand Gowda, Honorable Shri Justice T.S. Thakur, Judge Supreme Court of India and Executive Chairman NALSA, Honorable Shri Justice Anil R. Dave, Judge Supreme Court of India and Chairman SCLSC, and Honorable Sushri Justice G. Rohini, Chief Justice High Court of Delhi. आप सभी को धनतेरस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। 9 नवंबर राष्ट्र का वो गौरवशाली दिन है जब भारत में द लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी एक्ट लागू हुआ था। पिछले 2 दिनों नालसा की नई स्कीम्स की लॉन्च के बाद उन स्कीम्स के एक्चुअलाइजेशन पर विचारों का पवित्र मंथन हुआ। दूसरे महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दों पर भी विचार विमर्श हुआ। तो 3 दिन के इस महोत्सव का इससे ज़्यादा बड़ा ग्रैंड फिनाले की कोई क्या कल्पना कर सकता था कि देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी खुद इस कार्यक्रम की गरिमा और शोभा बढ़ा रहे हैं। आइए इस कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ एवं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का स्वागत एक बार जोरदार ताली बजाकर करें। कहते हैं मेघ और मेहमान बड़े भाग से पधारते हैं। अतिथि देवो भव संस्कार को निभाते हुए हम ऑनरेबल श्री जस्टिस टी.एस. ठाकुर से आग्रह करते हैं कि कृपया माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का स्वागत फूलों से करें। May I request Honorable Shri Justice Anil R. Dave to present a bouquet of flowers to Honorable Minister of Law and Justice Shri D.V. Sadanand Gowda. अब हम मेंबर सेक्रेटरी नालसा श्रीमती आशा मेनन से अनुरोध करते हैं कि कृपया ऑनरेबल श्री जस्टिस टी.एस. ठाकुर का स्वागत गुलदस्ते से करें। Srimati Asha Menon is again requested to give a floral welcome to Honorable Shri Justice Anil R. Dave. श्रीमती आशा मेनन से ही निवेदन है कि कृपया ऑनरेबल सुश्री जस्टिस जी रोहिणी को फूल भेंट करें। May I now request Honorable Shri Justice Anil R. Dave, Judge Supreme Court of India and Executive Chairman SCLSC to kindly deliver welcome address.
I'm happy to welcome on my behalf as well as on behalf of NALSA, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, Honorable Law Minister Shri D.V. Sadanand Gowda ji, Honorable Mr. Justice T.S. Thakur, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Ms. Justice Rohini, Chief Justice Delhi High Court, my brother and sister judges, friends of my legal fraternity, and all well-wishers of underprivileged citizens who are rendering their valuable services to our brother and sister citizens via NALSA. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that our Constitution wants to give equality of status and opportunity and do justice, social, economic, and political to all our citizens. But we are aware of the fact that the said object of our Constitution has not been fulfilled even after 6 decades of our independence. We all are making sincere efforts to see that the said dream comes true, and so as to see that the said dream is fulfilled after several years of efforts. Legal Services Authorities Act 1986 was enacted and brought into force on 9th November 1995, 20 years before this day, and therefore we are celebrating this day as Legal Services Day. Today, I also remember persons like late Justice Krishna Iyer, Justice P.N. Bhagwati, former Chief Justice of India, who dedicated their lives to the cause of making access to justice a reality and by institutionalizing the programs of legal aid and legal services. Our people trust our judiciary, and therefore the job of doing some special help to the needy and underprivileged persons has been entrusted by the Parliament to the judicial officers by enacting the Legal Services Authorities Act. NALSA at the center and state legal services authorities at state level have been established under the provisions of the Legal Services Authorities Act. And all these bodies have been doing a wonderful job of helping people in getting justice. There are persons who do not know what are their legal rights. There are a number of persons who are not aware, either because of illiteracy or lack of education, and they do not know what are their rights. And if they do not know what are their rights, how would they establish their right? And for that purpose, we all are making Herculean efforts to see that they know something about their rights. We are trying our best to see that they are made literate, they are educated, they are informed about their rights, and thereafter, not only that, we try to see that they get their rights. And this is the noble work which NALSA and other persons who are associated with NALSA is doing. I must highlight a very important fact here, which really requires attention, that is with regard to strengthening of our court infrastructure and to increase judges' ratio in subordinate judiciary as well as in high courts, so as to enhance the justice delivery system, because courts at district level and taluka level are the first representatives of judicial system, in which the citizen comes into contact for the first time for redressal of his grievances. In our country, the ratio between the population and the judges is really unrealistic. It is also one of the factors for which the judiciary is said to be slow, because we have got less number of judges, we have got more litigation. Litigation has been increasing, population has been increasing. Because of the development, normally litigation increases. You know about the trade and commerce, which we had before 50 years and what we have today. And in the next years to come, I think we are very sure that under the leadership of our Prime Minister, we will be doing something much better. Number of foreign countries are coming here, and that might give rise to the litigation also. Hence, number of judges really should be more. At present, the ratio in India is fewer than 15 judges per million people, whereas in Canada, it is 75 judges per million, and in USA, it is 104 per million. So we know it very well that the number of judges are very much less in our country. Possibly that is one of the reasons for which we are having AES. NALSA and SALSA, they have helped several litigants by holding lok adalats and by arranging mediation and conciliation programs, by helping the litigants in resolving the disputes amicably out of the court. Not only litigation pending in different courts has come down, but the process has also helped the litigants in regaining their lost relationship by liquidating bitterness among themselves. Normally what happens when you go to Lok Adalat, both persons come smilingly out of the court if the matter is resolved. Whereas in case when the judge decides something, one loses, one succeeds. And normally that bitterness is always there. Say two neighbors fighting over something, and suppose the court decides it in favor of A. Now naturally B is unhappy, and their relationship would remain strained forever. They are neighbors, they are to stay together forever. But here, with help of Lok Adalat, conciliation, mediation, normally even relations are regained and there is no bitterness. In a nation like ours, with a large population, more litigation and lack of adequate infrastructure are major factors that hamper our judicial system. So we need new approaches. Of course, as I said, that Lok Adalat, etc., they are very old concepts. Even in old days, when we were not independent, Gram Panchayats, they used to play a wonderful role in resolving the disputes. Abraham Lincoln once remarked that discourage litigation, persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can, point out to them how the nominal winner is often a real loser in fees, expenses, and time, unquote. Well, when I remember Abraham Lincoln, I must not forget our Rashtrapita Gandhiji, who said the best way to find ourselves is to lose yourself in service of others. And I'm happy to say that today we will be having a number of such persons who have lost themselves, their identities while serving people, and they would be felicitated today. So we'll be felicitating such persons who have really helped our society, our brothers and sister citizens, in getting justice, and I'm happy that the services rendered by them would be appreciated by our Honorable Prime Minister. August presence of these dignitaries will encourage such several social works, and good wishes of the Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Law Minister will make the path of NALSA and SALSA more smooth so as to enable them to render better services to our unprivileged brothers and sisters. Sorry, I forgot one thing. When I talked about Lok Adalat, I think when two Gujaratis are on the dais, I must not forget that the first Lok Adalat was held in Gujarat, in Una, and it was a great success. In district Junagadh, there is a place called Una, somewhere in 83 perhaps. That was the first Lok Adalat, and only perhaps because of that, this movement of Lok Adalat gathered momentum. I once again welcome our Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Law Minister, and all other well-wishers, our sincere staff of NALSA, SALSA, and I'm sure that your presence will bring a grand success, not only to today's function, but to all activities of NALSA and SALSA. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
धन्यवाद ऑनरेबल श्री जस्टिस अनिल दवे। अब मेरा सादर निवेदन है ऑनरेबल श्री जस्टिस टी.एस. ठाकुर, जज सुप्रीम कोर्ट और एग्जीक्यूटिव चेयरमैन नालसा से कि कृपया इस महत्वपूर्ण अवसर पर अपने उद्गार व्यक्त करें।
Honorable the Prime Minister, Shri Sadananji Gowda, Minister for Law, my esteemed brother Justice Dave, Chief Justice of Delhi High Court Justice Rohini, my brother judges from the Supreme Court, brother judges from the High Courts from all over the country, Chief Justices from the High Courts, Member Secretaries of the State Legal Service Authorities, senior officers of the Government of India, panel lawyers, paralegal volunteers, and awardees in this function. 9th of November, every year, we all assemble in Delhi from all over the country. We review our progress, we identify our failures, and we rededicate ourselves to the cause of access to justice for all. This year also we assembled on 7th and 8th and reviewed whatever we had done over the past 1 year. And I must say that our performance during the year that has rolled by has been commendable. But in addition to review, we also identified newer areas in which we formulated schemes based on seminars and workshops, conferences held in different parts of the country on subjects that had remained out of focus for a long time. I will refer to those schemes that have been launched and the roadmap ahead. But today's function is not significant because of what we have done over the year. It is not significant because of what we have launched for the future, but it is significant because we have among us none less than the Prime Minister of India. Never before in the history of NALSA or SALSAs for the past 30 years or so has a Prime Minister agreed to be a part of this celebration where we commit ourselves to this ongoing campaign for ensuring speedy justice to the less fortunate sections of our society. And I must share with you that when we made a request to the Prime Minister that he graces this occasion, he was more than happy in doing so, and that is precisely the spirit in which you find him among us today, this morning. I, on behalf of Salsas and on behalf of NALSA, as also everyone for whom these organizations stand, express my profuse thanks to the Prime Minister for sparing his time out of his busy schedules and being with us. And I'm sure when you hear him, you will go back with added inspiration to do much better than what we have been doing in the past. Honorable Prime Minister, we have over the years primarily dedicated ourselves to providing legal aid to people who require such aid in the matter of getting access to justice. I can say with confidence that this campaign has benefited millions of people in this country. We have, over the past 30 years, provided lawyers, provided legal assistance, provided financial aid to a very large cross-section of our society who was unable to access justice because of poor economic condition. In fact, the very philosophy behind legal aid is that in the matter of access to justice, the poor economic condition of a litigant should not stand in his way. We know that today state is perhaps the biggest litigant in the judicial system of this country. 80% or more of litigation in the courts today is against the state. And if it is against the mighty state that a litigant has to fight his case, poorer sections of the society find themselves isolated. It was in that context and with the spirit of ensuring that access to justice even for such unfortunate souls as are pitted against the mighty state becomes a reality that the Parliament made the Legal Services Act. And we must say, to the credit of all those who are connected with this campaign, that this campaign has helped and made access to justice a reality for millions. That will continue. There's no doubt about it. There's no going back, because no system, no society, no polity can survive where you do not ensure justice. The Constitution itself, the first thing that it ensures is justice to the citizens, social, economic, political. And therefore, when we commit ourselves to justice or the process by which you can access justice, we are actually upholding the constitutional vows, the pledges that the constitutional framers made, and the aspirations of this people, the people of this country. Providing lawyers to litigants is just one of the dimensions of the duties that we discharge. Over the years, as my brother Justice Dave mentioned, Lok Adalats have been a major commitment on the part of legal service authorities and NALSA at the apex level, in which millions of people have benefited. I will give you the figures in a moment, but may I tell you that Lok Adalats serve a dual purpose. One, it makes access to justice easy for the litigant. You go, you settle, and you go home happy. Both the sides go home happy. And there is no continued burden on the legal system for adjudication of the disputes. It takes that much burden away from the legal system because there are no appeals against an award or an adjudication in a Lok Adalat. The process of these Lok Adalats have been going on, but in the immediate past year, we digressed a little. We felt that in order to make it more focused, we evolved a process or a procedure whereby we identified subjects on which we will hold specific Lok Adalats. As for instance, Prime Minister, we decided to hold a Lok Adalat for bank cases. Now there are millions of cases pending in courts, or those that are waiting to be filed in the courts in relation to bank loans. And we thought that by providing an opportunity to the borrowers and the banks to settle the matters, we will be relieving again the judicial system of the burden that goes with it. In the immediate past year, we had around 5 lakh cases decided in Lok Adalats at the pre-litigation stage, where the litigant didn't go to the court. The bank didn't file a suit. He didn't spend on the court fees. He didn't spend on the counsel fee. He was given an opportunity to bring up a case before the Lok Adalat. He brought a case, the bank brought a case, the borrower was summoned, and the bank and the borrower sat across the table and settled the matter. 5 lakh cases before they could reach the court were settled, and this involved a total settlement amount of 3,350 crores. A very substantial amount settled amicably between the borrowers and the banks, and a substantial part of this amount which was settled was paid by the borrowers as a down payment in terms of the settlement. This prevented these 5 lakh cases from getting loaded onto the legal system. In addition, we had pending matters. There were pending matters which were before the courts already, and as many as 2,68,453 pending cases were referred to the Lok Adalat. These were also cases where the banks had filed suits against the borrowers, and these cases were referred to the Lok Adalat, and these were settled. This involved, again, a very substantial amount of settlement stakes that were settled finally. The other sector in which we held a specific subject Lok Adalat was motor accident claims. As you know, the largest killer in this country today are the motor accidents. Road accidents take the largest toll out of our citizens' lives. And immediate relief to the victim of the accident, or immediate relief to the legal heirs of the deceased, is a major issue. 1,50,000 cases which were pending in the motor accident claims tribunals, and 1,60,000 cases in pre-litigation, before they could go to the claims tribunals, were also taken up and settled. And the total amount which was awarded in these claims on the basis of settlements was 915 crores. So if you count 3,500 crores and another 1,000 crores, around 4,000 crores worth claims from banks and from the motor accident cases got settled with the help of Lok Adalats. The third facet of our Lok Adalat campaign on specific subjects related to revenue, Manrega and land acquisition cases. We also identified these subjects because we felt that these are specific subjects in which there is a large pendency and people need help and quick justice. A total of 7,30,000 pending cases, 7,30,000 pending cases, and 34,60,000 pre-litigation cases in these areas, revenue, Manrega and land acquisition, involving a total amount of rupees 1,365 crores were disposed of by the Lok Adalat, Prime Minister, during the immediate past year. I compliment all those who are present here and who have been associated with this campaign for this wonderful performance. Lok Adalats were also held in cases relating to labor and family disputes. That was the fourth dimension of our specific subject Lok Adalats, where national Lok Adalats were on specific subjects, in which 1,61,000 pending cases and 3,70,000 pre-litigation cases were settled involving monetary implications of rupees 366 crore rupees. Lok Adalats also settled 8,68,000 cases relating to public utility services, which was also one of the subjects which we chose for specific Lok Adalats. 8,68,254 cases relating to public utility services, 5,71,000 criminal compoundable matters, which were compoundable, where you can settle. Supposing somebody is hurt, Prime Minister, in a motor accident, he can compound it. And those cases were also languishing in the courts. So we got them referred and we settled them with the help of the Lok Adalats, in which the victim gets some compensation and the matter finishes. So the case goes out of the system of the judicial system of the country. A total of 10,31,000 cases pertaining to traffic and municipal offences were also settled. The state legal service authorities have, in addition to all this, conducted 82,060 legal literacy camps, Prime Minister. If this is a figure which may sound a little exaggerated, I would say, but I can assure you that over the past 1 year and maybe even a year earlier, we have made efforts to involve educational institutions in the process of legal literacy, because it is not just the settlement of cases, providing legal aid or counsel to the litigant public, but also the legal awareness that we are spreading. Because we believe in NALSA and SALSAs that question of providing legal aid or access to justice does not arise unless the citizen knows that he has certain rights. So awareness about the legal rights is a major issue. And since we do not have that kind of reach in terms of manpower and resources, that we can go from village to village informing people as to what are their rights, we thought the best way to spread this message of legal literacy is to involve the students. And we have done that in a big way. We have shining examples of Haryana and Himachal Pradesh, where schools are involved not only in legal literacy camps within the schools, but outside. And they have, I think they have gone far beyond just legal literacy. In Himachal, I believe lakhs of saplings were planted by them as a campaign for environmental improvement. So these camps have involved a very large cross-section of our society. But since our reach was limited, so we explored the possibilities of using All India Radio and the Doordarshan for purposes of our programs. I must say, to the credit of your government and the secretaries concerned, that they were very helpful. Of course, there are still places where we are told that you must pay to the government for our programs. I wish you could send a message to them that our programs are not commercial programs, our programs are public service programs. And therefore, we need not be asked to pay for a legal literacy program that we conduct on the radio or the television. But most of the places have been, you see, streamlined. People have fallen in line. They have accepted that what we offer on the television show or in the radio is a public service, and therefore this must go free. But there are still some hiccups, and I'm sure with your intervention and a word from you from this stage today that this is a public service which need not be paid for by one government agency or one government establishment to another government establishment. Our access to these media will be a little more comfortable with us, and these will be used in a big way to spread awareness. To sum up, the Prime Minister, since January 2015 to September 2015, the immediate past year, more than 1,28,000 Lok Adalats have been held, organized in the country. More than 50 lakh, 7 lakh cases, including cases pending in courts and those in pre-litigation stage, have been settled. And by September 2015, a total of, I'm mentioning this figure from the date where we started our campaign some 20 years ago, 15.14 lakh Lok Adalats, 14,000 Lok Adalats have been held, and 8.25 crore cases, including cases pending in the courts, have been disposed of so far through the medium of Lok Adalats. Since there is no appeal from such adjudications and such determinations, the legal system gets relieved of that much burden, and therefore this process is in a way a great boon to our system, the judicial system, in as much as it relieves the system of determining these matters in appeals and revisions and so on. The roadmap for the future, Prime Minister, is now slightly more challenging. We thought that providing counsel to litigant public, holding Lok Adalats, holding literacy camps, and deciding cases may not be the end-all and the be-all of our agenda or our duties. So we thought that we must identify those areas which need special attention and focus. And therefore, we identified 7 different areas in which we thought our services would also be expected, and therefore we started a process by which we invited the best of experts from those fields and a process of consultation with all the stakeholders to evolve schemes that will lay the roadmap for the future for NALSA and the SALSAs. In this regard, we have launched, the Honorable Law Minister was there on 7th when these schemes were launched, NALSA's scheme for victims of trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation. This is an area that will concern those unfortunate souls that are involved in flesh trade, that they are being exploited, or they are being trafficked from poorer sections, poorer states into different areas. Our role in providing legal aid, in providing assistance to them for rehabilitation has been identified in this scheme, and this is one area where we feel we have a role. I am thankful to Justice Sikri, who was requested by me to hold these deliberations. Justice Sikri spared time despite his engagements in the Supreme Court, and he did a wonderful job. He brought in all the stakeholders, including the government agencies and the government representatives, and a scheme that has now been evolved, I think, is a scheme that not only helps us in providing assistance to these unfortunate victims of sexual exploitation and trafficking, but also helps the government and the government agencies in pursuing their policies in that regard. The second scheme which we have worked out and which has been launched is the scheme for workers in the unorganized sector. Prime Minister, you would be knowing that 46 crore people in this country today are working in the unorganized sector. And out of those 46 crores, 14 crores are females. Now, at the lowest strata, this lowest rung of the social hierarchy. They are working as construction workers, they are working as domestic help, they are working as drivers, they are working as all types of menial jobs. This is the kind of, the magnitude of the involvement of this sector. 46 crores is a very large area. Now we felt that there are any number of schemes that the government has framed. The government has, in the course of our deliberations and the conferences, we realized that very huge amounts have been collected For instance, in Karnataka, Prime Minister, when we went there for this conference on unorganized sector, it turned out the officers came, 3,000 crores have been collected in the unorganized sector, meant for schemes for this sector. They have to provide shelters for the construction workers. You would have seen that the construction worker, the husband and the wife are both working, but the children are playing in the sand, unattended, because there is no facility for them, there is no shelter for them, there is no medical aid for them, there is no education for them, they are neglected. So this amount is lying in deposit, not being utilized. In Punjab and Haryana, a similar conference revealed that 1,500 crores has been collected, but is lying in a bank deposit, not being spent. Although the schemes say that the construction workers who get disabled will get some assistance. They can get assistance for spectacles, they can get assistance for medical treatment for their children. There is a scheme in Karnataka which helps them, which entitles them to get some assistance from out of the scheme for the marriage of the daughter of the laborer. But these schemes remain dead letters. So we thought that if we are the voice of the voiceless millions that are supposed to be the beneficiaries of these schemes, we have a role. Not to sit in judgment over the government or their agencies, but to be facilitators between the government and the beneficiary. We can play that role of being a bridge between the victim of neglect or the beneficiary of the scheme and the establishment. If there is an entitlement, it must flow to the concerned. That is the purpose of the scheme, and it identifies our role insofar as the unorganized sector is concerned. There's a NALSA scheme for child-friendly legal services. Children are our assets, they make our future, but we have seen that child labor, child abuse, child atrocities and torture is rampant, and therefore NALSA will lend a helping hand to that sector also. Similarly, NALSA legal services to the mentally ill and mentally disabled persons scheme. There are any number of people, Prime Minister, you would be knowing, in the asylums, mental asylums of this country, where the family members themselves do not want to take the people home because they own properties, and the properties have gone into the hands of their family members, their relatives, or some others, outsiders, who do not want these people to be declared fit or to be able to manage their properties. And therefore, there is need for providing legal assistance to such unfortunate people also. There is also one scheme that we have launched for effective implementation of the poverty alleviation schemes of the government. As you all know, there are any number of schemes framed by the Government of India for poverty alleviation. State governments have also their schemes. And if I correctly remember, the Prime Minister speaking on one of the occasions when he said that even the former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi had said that when we send money from Delhi, only 15 paisas reach the beneficiary. The rest somewhere gets lost. So these poverty alleviation schemes, let us say a scheme for payment of pension to the widows, or old age pension, or some arogya schemes for treatment of the people who deserve that treatment or who are entitled to such assistance. If they do not get it, where do they go? Whose door they knock? Our scheme says, well, we can be of assistance, because if you are entitled to it and if the system has provided for it, then why should we not lend that helping hand to ensure that these people get that benefit? It is only in that spirit that you are again a facilitator for the flow of the benefit of the schemes under these provisions that we have evolved this scheme, and I think this is going to help a very, very large number of the sections of our society. The NALSA protection and enforcement of tribal rights, Prime Minister, is another area that we have formulated a scheme on. We held a conference in Gangtok where we called the judges and the experts from the Northeast region and sat with them, deliberated with them. We had a conference in Ranchi where we constituted a committee of judges that will formulate a scheme for the protection of the rights of tribals. And this scheme, which also addresses the concerns of our tribal brethren, will help the tribal communities in different parts of the country. Then last, and the seventh scheme, Prime Minister, which we have formulated and which is launched now, is the NALSA Legal Services to Victims of Drug Abuse and Eradication of Drug Menace Scheme 2015. Drugs, as you know, is a very major issue in this country. In different parts of the country, it has become a very major menace, and it is threatening the very social fiber of our society, and therefore needs to be addressed. We had the Health Secretary of the Government of India speaking to our member secretaries and the chairpersons, and Justice Karol, who has worked very hard on this, pursuant to a deliberations in the conference at Manali, has evolved this scheme, and the NALSA has approved of it. It has been launched. It identifies our role in the matter of eradication of drugs and the rights and benefits that are due to people who are victims of drug abuse. This is a roadmap for the future, Prime Minister. It's a very challenging, a formidable roadmap. It's not easy, but at least we have now focused in these areas. I think it provides an advantage to NALSA to see whether SALSAs are really trekking the path properly. Are they performing? It also gives a guideline or a manifesto to the SALSAs to pursue in times to come. If you do not have clear-cut areas earmarked, if you do not have clear-cut subjects identified, you remain confined, you vegetate, you do not grow. But the legal service program has grown manifold over the years. And I'm sure with these newer challenges that have been identified and that we are committed to face and confront, I'm sure these will provide a great challenge, a very formidable challenge. And the greater the challenge, the greater the inspiration required to meet it. And who could perhaps inspire our judges, our officers who are committed to this cause of access to justice and protection of the rights of the poor than the Prime Minister himself. I'm sure you're all keen to hear the Prime Minister. I am only intervening. I would only thank the Prime Minister for being so gracious as to come here despite his busy schedule. I'm sure each one of you will go back with something that will continue to inspire you over the next year and for years to come. I wish you all the best, and thank you for being so very patient with us all through 3 days conference, which were very tiring and at the same time very rewarding. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable Shri Justice T.S. Thakur. Today, on this momentous occasion, we now request Honorable Union Minister of Law and Justice, Shri D.V. Sadanand Gowda, to kindly address this august gathering.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Executive Chairman, NALSA, Justice T.S. Thakur ji, Justice Dave ji, Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Justice Rohini ji, Justices and judges from various High Courts and Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen. I will not take much of your time because Honorable Prime Minister will address you, and I hope that what all issues that has been mentioned by Justice Thakur, certainly it is heartfelt, and day for yesterday, I was present during the launching ceremony of 7 initiatives. A wonderful initiatives that has been taken by Justice Thakur and his team, really on behalf of the government, I congratulate Justice Thakur for having taken up such a massive initiation, and I hope that these are the areas we could not able to reach since last over 30 years, but certainly in the coming days, the government under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, we will able to give all sorts of assistance that we need to reach to the people at the fag end of the remote corner of the village, where he needs some help from the government as well as from NALSA to access to the justice. Of course, I feel it apt to begin by invoking the memory of late Justice Krishna Iyer, who believed that society is guilty if anyone suffers unjustly. So these are the areas just now which was mentioned by Honorable Justice Thakur, are the areas where unjustly things have happened so far. So we could not reach to those people who really requires the legal assistance from the government or from other areas. Today is an appropriate occasion to keep this thought in mind. The idea which started working in the form of national level committee to oversee legal aid programs has taken the shape of creation of institutions such as national and state level legal authorities. For almost 3 decades now, NALSA has been working towards the noble goal of providing legal aid and services to the citizens in need. I extend my greetings and good wishes to all the members and officers present here today who have all been relentlessly working towards this goal. The forefathers of the philosophy of legal aid, the late Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer and Justice Bhagavati, continue to inspire us today. As rightly said by Honorable Justice Thakur, Article 39A of the Constitution gives a mandate to offer free legal services for the poor. The notion of free legal aid finds its roots in the idea that no individual should have undergo trial in the absence of legal assistance. A trial in which a poor or indigent person is not represented legally would be regarded as unreasonable and unjust. Free legal aid service is an inalienable element of reasonable, fair and justice procedure. NALSA plays a crucial role in ensuring that this constitutional guarantee is secured. As a result of NALSA's efforts, legal aid presents itself in many forms and touches the lives of many. This includes legal aid clinics, lok adalats, prison legal aid clinics, and awareness program. The popular saying is that prevention is better than cure. The same applies in the context of justice delivery also. While legal assistance and legal aid clinics are essential, increasing legal awareness and empowerment is a key component in ensuring better justice delivery. The prominence of making people aware of their legal rights and duties becomes more acute where marginalized groups and poor are concerned. We must strive to work for reducing the gap of capability of rich and poor litigants to extract from the justice delivery system. I encourage NALSA to continue this pattern of engaging creativity. People are the best judges of what they need, and community needs should be the priority of legal system. For example, where legal awareness camps are being held, topics for such camps could be decided in consultation with the local communities. A combination of interactive methods such as films and role play may be used to disperse the message and engage the audience. This is likely to lead to better recall value amongst the audience and have long-ranging impact on the ultimate success of the legal awareness camps. The scheme could be designed taking into account the differential vulnerability of different sections of society, providing legal services to the needy, if not at the doorstep, but at a minimum possible distance, would improve the access to justice. Equally important is to focus on the quality of the legal services provided to the poor and vulnerable sections. We must find ways to encourage senior advocates to volunteer for legal aid services. Work done by the advocate in the pro bono activities could be taken as one of the criteria for designating them as senior advocate and later in selection of judges from the bar. This could also be extended to the promotions of lower judiciary by giving weightage to the activities carried out by the individual in the field of legal aid. Engagement of leading legal firms and leading law schools in the country to provide legal aid as the part of their social responsibility and curriculum respectively could be an idea worth exploring in this direction. Internationally, India is well poised to become a superpower in this century. Recently, the international community adopted new Sustainable Development Agenda at the United Nations, resulting in new goals that build on the 8 Millennium Development Goals identified earlier. Of relevance to today's discussion is Goal 16 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is dedicated to the promotion of peaceful and inclusive societies of sustainable development, the provision of access to justice for all, and building effective, accountable, and institutions at all levels. A key target for this goal is to promote the rule of law at the national and international levels to ensure equal access to justice for all. I look forward to the participation and role played by NALSA and its networks in ensuring that India achieves this goal by the target year of 2030. One of the first steps taken towards this goal would be address the issue of 68% of under-trial prisoners lodged in various prisons. The government joins hands with NALSA towards addressing this issue. Most recently, my office received a representation from 614 women prisoners in Tihar jail, suggesting that they have been incarcerated for long periods under harsh conditions without access to effective legal services. Of these 614 women prisoners, 412 women prisoners were under trials. Their request was to be released on bail pending trial or pending appeal. This was taken up with NALSA, and I am extremely pleased to report that our cooperation and intervention of Delhi High Court led to release of 105 women under trial prisoners recently. This is the kind of cooperation and coordination that must be replicated to reduce the population of under trials. NALSA and the other state-level institutions must seize this opportunity. The legal aid movement had begun in order to set a foundation for social righteousness by bridging the gap between the fortunate and the less fortunate weaker sections of society. The genesis of this system was to secure social justice for the poor. On the occasion of National Legal Service Day, I take this opportunity to congratulate NALSA for all its tireless efforts in providing legal services to the needy and marginalized, particularly those who need the most. I can assure you that you will always have the continuous support and commitment of the central government. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Shri Sadanand Gowda. कोई भी नेक काम पुरस्कार पाने की दृष्टि से नहीं किया जाता, ये तो अपने काम और देश के प्रति डिवोशन, डेडिकेशन और डिटर्मिनेशन की भावना होती है जो अंदर से लगातार प्रेरित करती रहती है। आज हम लीगल सर्विसेज से जुड़े उन तमाम व्यक्तित्वों को देशवासियों की तरफ से नमन करते हैं जिन्होंने इसी प्रेरणा से उच्च मानदंडों की मिसाल पेश की है। Now the best district legal services authority and paralegal volunteer from each region and at national level will be felicitated for their commendable interventions. हम माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से विनम्र विनती करते हैं कि कृपया ये अवार्ड्स अपने कर कमलों द्वारा प्रदान करें। माननीय कृपया इसके लिए स्टेज के सामने आने की कृपा करें। DLSA की तरफ से ये अवार्ड ग्रहण करेंगे डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेक्रेटरी, चेयरमैन और मेंबर सेक्रेटरी, और PLV की तरफ से इस पुरस्कार को ग्रहण करेंगे कंसर्न्ड PLV और मेंबर सेक्रेटरी। आगे की कार्रवाई में सौंप रही हूँ ऑफिसर ऑन स्पेशल ड्यूटी नालसा श्री आलोक अग्रवाल को।
पुरस्कारों की श्रेणी में सबसे पहले DLSA। सर्वप्रथम उत्तरी क्षेत्र सर्वश्रेष्ठ DLSA चुना गया है फरीदाबाद हरियाणा राज्य से। फरीदाबाद DLSA ने सभी गतिविधियों को एक नया नाम देकर उन्हें प्रोजेक्ट के स्तर पर संपन्न किया है। उनके प्रोजेक्ट रूबरू, संवेदना, संपूर्ण सूचना, नवचेतना, ये कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स के नाम हैं। और इन सभी प्रोजेक्ट्स में इन्होंने स्कूली बच्चों और कॉलेज के छात्रों को शामिल करके उनमें निस्वार्थ सेवा भावना की अपनाने की प्रेरणा दी है। बहुत बहुत बधाई फरीदाबाद डीएलए से। पश्चिमी क्षेत्र से सर्वश्रेष्ठ चुने गए हैं अजमेर डीएलए से, राजस्थान से। कानूनी जागरूकता फैलाने के लिए एनिमेशन फिल्मों और कठपुतली प्रदर्शनों का प्रयोग, गणतंत्र दिवस और स्वतंत्रता दिवस पर झांकियों का आयोजन और यौन उत्पीड़न के शिकार लोगों के लिए अस्पताल में एक निर्भया केंद्र की स्थापना करना इस चयन के कुछ मुख्य कारण हैं। अच्छा काम करने के लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई अजमेर। दक्षिणी क्षेत्र का पुरस्कार जाता है कोटायम डीएलएसए केरल से। कोटायम डीएलएसए ने एक अद्भुत प्रयोग किया है। एक पूरा नगर पालिका क्षेत्र चंगनाचेरी, जिसमें 37 वार्ड्स हैं, उसमें 100% कानूनी साक्षरता को इन्होंने सुनिश्चित किया है। 4 फेजेस में ये प्रक्रिया की है। पहले साक्षरता की क्लासेस और पुस्तिकाओं के द्वारा किया गया, फिर उनकी परीक्षा हुई और जो विफल हुए उनको दोबारा से प्रशिक्षण दिया गया। बहुत बहुत बधाई कोटायम। पूर्वी क्षेत्र से बेस्ट डीएलएसए रांची, झारखंड। अन्य बहुत सी उपलब्धियों के अलावा रांची डीएलएसए की एक वीडियो फिल्म बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ बनाई है, जिसमें प्राधिकरण के सचिव श्री रजनीकांत ने स्वयं मुख्य भूमिका निभाई और शीर्षक गीत भी गाया है। इसके अलावा 11 भूमिहीन आदिवासियों को वन भूमि पट्टा के आवंटन के प्राधिकरण के प्रयास भी सराहनीय हैं। इस उपलब्धि के लिए रांची को बहुत बहुत बधाई। उत्तर पूर्वी क्षेत्र से सर्वश्रेष्ठ डीएलएसए है कामरूप, आसाम से। कामरूप डीएलएसए का चयन जिन कारणों से किया है वो है पैनल वकीलों का मासिक वार्तालाप के द्वारा प्रभावी गुणवत्ता नियंत्रण, स्थानीय जनता के लिए आवेदन पत्रों भरनों और सरकारी एजेंसियों के साथ समन्वय, और कामरूप के नागरिकों को एनआरसी, नेशनल रजिस्टर ऑफ सिटीजन्स में शामिल कराना। बहुत बहुत बधाई। छोटे राज्यों की श्रेणी में सर्वश्रेष्ठ डीएलएसए का पुरस्कार उत्तर पूर्व दिल्ली के लिए। आश्रयहीन बच्चों के जीवन में इस डीएलएसए ने जो योगदान किया है वो काफी है इनको ये पुरस्कार के लिए चुनने के लिए। इन्होंने बाल कल्याण समिति, एएसटीयू और सरकारी संगठनों के साथ मिलकर इन आश्रयहीन बच्चों के लिए उनका एक डेटाबेस बनाकर रैन बसेरों, चौराहों पर एक नियमित रूप से जागरूकता कार्यक्रम चलाए। बहुत बहुत बधाई। डीएलएसएस में नेशनल बेस्ट की भी एक कैटेगरी है और नेशनल बेस्ट डीएलएसए का अवार्ड जाता है फरीदाबाद, हरियाणा से। इनके जागरूकता अभियानों में एक अभिनव प्रणाली का प्रयोग करने के लिए मैं रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूं श्रीमती जैस्मिन शर्मा, सेक्रेटरी, श्री इंद्रजीत मेहता, चेयरमैन फरीदाबाद डीएलएसए, और श्री विक्रम अग्रवाल, मेंबर सेक्रेटरी, हरियाणा स्टेट लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री से पुरस्कार सम्मान प्राप्त करें। पैरालीगल वॉलंटियर्स की श्रेणी के पुरस्कार उत्तरी क्षेत्र में सर्वश्रेष्ठ पैरालीगल वॉलंटियर श्री जनक सिंह, जम्मू कश्मीर से। श्री जनक सिंह की मदद से 14 विकलांग व्यक्तियों को विकलांगता का प्रमाण पत्र प्राप्त हुआ। 295 विधवाओं को उनके पेंशन की मंजूरी इनके प्रयत्नों से में उन्होंने सहायता की। 200 मजदूरों को जॉब कार्ड के लिए इन्होंने प्रयत्न किया और 200 निरक्षर व्यक्तियों को जनधन योजना के तहत बैंक खाते खोलने में इन्होंने मदद की, जो सराहनीय है। बहुत बहुत बधाई जनक सिंह। पश्चिम क्षेत्र से श्री चंद्रकांत भाई बारोट, गुजरात से। गरीबी रेखा के नीचे रह रहे लोगों तक व्यक्तिगत रूप से पहुंचकर उन्हें केंद्र सरकार और गुजरात सरकार की विभिन्न योजनाओं के बारे में आवश्यक जानकारी देने के लिए और उनके तहत उनका लाभ दिलवाने के लिए उनके प्रयास सराहनीय हैं। एक दुर्घटना के शिकार के पक्ष में मुख्यमंत्री अमृतम कार्ड दिलवाने में भी उन्होंने मदद की है। बहुत बहुत बधाई। दक्षिण क्षेत्र से श्रीमती फरीदा, राज्य तेलंगाना। 3 बलात्कार पीड़ित महिलाओं को जिला प्रशासन में प्रार्थना पत्र देने और उन्हें जिला प्रशासन की ओर से वित्तीय सहायता दिलाने में मदद की। श्रीमती फरीदा ने सब विभागों के साथ समन्वय करके ये सुनिश्चित किया कि वो राशि उस बालिका के बालिग होने तक सवधी जमा में भी रखी गई और इन्होंने अंतरजातीय विवाह करने वाले जोड़ों के माता पिता और अन्य ग्रामवासियों को सलाह दी और कुछ मुकदमे आपसी सलाह से सुलझाए। बहुत बहुत बधाई। पूर्वी क्षेत्र से श्री तपन कुमार साहू, ओडिशा। पेशे से पत्रकार श्री तपन कुमार साहू ने एक बाल विवाह को रोकने में मदद की, किन्नरों को मतदाता सूची में दाखिल करवाने में मदद की और एक 70 वर्षीय बेघर व्यक्ति को उसकी एंटाइटलमेंट के अनुसार इंदिरा आवास पाने में उसकी मदद की। यह नियमित रूप से जागरूकता कार्यक्रमों में भी अग्रसर रहते हैं। बहुत बहुत बधाई। उत्तर पूर्वी क्षेत्र श्रीमती केनी, नागालैंड। श्रीमती केनी ने 21 लापता बच्चों को वापस उनके परिवारों के साथ मिलवाने में सरकारी एजेंसीज की मदद की। 7 बलात्कार के मामले और 9 डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस के मामले आगे प्रोसेस कराए। 11 बाल श्रमिकों को रेस्क्यू में सरकारी एजेंसीज की मदद की है। बहुत बहुत बधाई सुश्री केनी। नेशनल बेस्ट पीएलवी फिर से श्रीमती केनी, नागालैंड। नेशनल बेस्ट के रूप में इनका चयन इनके महिलाओं और बच्चों के हितों के लिए इनके समर्पण के कारण हुआ है। श्रीमती केनी पीएलवी और श्रीमती नीनो इरालू, मेंबर सेक्रेटरी, नागालैंड स्टेट लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री से पुरस्कार लें। बहुत बहुत बधाई। धन्यवाद। छोटे राज्यों की श्रेणी में श्रीमती मारिया एंजेलिना, गोवा से। इनके रेगुलर जागरूकता प्रोग्रामों में और मीडिएशन सेंटर में आपसी सलाह से मुकदमे सुलझाने के इनके प्रयास पर इनको चुना गया है। बहुत बहुत बधाई।
कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और सभी अवॉर्डीज को हृदय से बधाई। सभी को न्याय और सभी को समान अवसर संविधान की प्रस्तावना है और नालसा की आधारशिला। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की विकास की विचारधारा भी समता, समानता और सभी को समान अवसर देते हुए सबका साथ सबका विकास तक जाती है। नालसा यदि कमजोरों का सहारा है तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की आर्थिक सामाजिक नीतियों ने गरीबों कमजोरों को हमेशा लाभ पहुंचाया है। प्रगति के दिए की रोशनी से अब हर घर आंगन खुशहाल बन रहा है। भारत को माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का नेतृत्व मिला और भारत, भारतीयता, भारतवासी और भारत भावना को नियति का न्याय मिला। हम सादर आमंत्रित करते हैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को कि कृपया हम सबका मार्गदर्शन करें।
मंत्रिपरिषद के मेरे साथी श्रीमान सदानंद गौड़ा जी, श्रीमान जस्टिस टी.एस. ठाकुर जी, जस्टिस अनिल जी, श्रीमती रोहिणी गारू और उपस्थित सभी वरिष्ठ महानुभाव। ठाकुर साहब कह रहे थे कि पहली बार कोई प्रधानमंत्री इस कार्यक्रम में आए हैं। मैं बहुत भाग्यशाली हूं कि पुराने लोगों ने बहुत अच्छे अच्छे काम मेरे लिए बाकी रखे हैं। और भी अच्छे काम का मैं मौका भी नहीं छोड़ता हूं। आमतौर पर न्यायाधीश, न्यायालय, सामान्य मानवी को लगता है कि ये फांसी पर लटका देंगे, ये जेल में भेज देंगे, पता नहीं क्या होगा। लेकिन आज का समारोह अगर टीवी पर लोग देखते होंगे या बातें सुनते होंगे तो उनको पता चलेगा कि यहाँ पर कितनी संवेदनाएं हैं, गरीब के खातिर कितना दिमाग लोग खपा रहे हैं, गरीब को न्याय मिले इसके लिए कितनी चिंता जताई जा रही है। ये पहलू दुर्भाग्य से उजागर नहीं होते हमारे देश में। शायद मैं भी यहां ना आता तो इतनी बारीकी से चीजों को न जान पाता। तो औरों की तो बात छोड़ दीजिए। और इस अर्थ में मैं इस प्रयास को एक सामाजिक संवेदना का मुखर रूप के रूप में देखता हूं। एक डॉक्टर अगर महीने में एक दिन पेशेंट की मुफ्त में सेवा करता है तो 29 दिन तक उस डॉक्टर की इतनी वाहवाही चलती है, बड़े सेवाभावी है, बहुत पैसे नहीं लेते गरीब से, महीने में एक दिन कर रहे हैं। यहां पर दिन रात गरीब की चिंता होती है, लेकिन ये सेवाभावी है ऐसा टैग नहीं लग रहा है। ये जो हमारे यहां सोच है उसमें बदलाव आए, ये मैं समझता हूं बहुत आवश्यक है। और इसलिए लीगल अवेयरनेस के साथ साथ मुझे एक पहलू ये भी जरूरी लगता है कि इंस्टीट्यूशन का भी अवेयरनेस हो, लोगों को पता चले कि ऐसी व्यवस्था है। और इसके लिए सरकार के जिम्मे जो काम होगा मैं खुद इसकी चिंता करूंगा। मेरा एक मंत्र रहा है, सबका साथ सबका विकास। लेकिन साथ जुड़ता है सबका न्याय। तो सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका न्याय। दो प्रकार के विषय हैं। कभी हमारे यहाँ एक्सपर्ट लोगों ने या तो हमारी लॉ यूनिवर्सिटीज ने एक काम करना चाहिए, एक स्पेशल असाइनमेंट उनके स्टूडेंट्स को देना चाहिए कि देश के अलग अलग इलाकों में लोक अदालत पर रिसर्च करें, उसके प्रोजेक्ट सबमिट करें और वे कुछ सजेशंस भी दें, क्योंकि ये आवश्यक मुझे लगता है कि हमारे लॉ स्टूडेंट को भी पढ़ते समय ही पता चले कि लोक अदालतें है क्या। क्योंकि वो जब स्टडी करने जाएगा तो बारीकी से देखेगा और वो अपने आप में उसको सेंसिटाइज करना एक बड़ा अवसर बन जाएगा। और वो एक न्यूट्रल माइंड से, मॉडर्न माइंडसेट से अगर इसका एनालिसिस करता है, एक यूनिवर्सिटी एक स्टेट ले लें, स्टडी करें, अगली बार दूसरा स्टेट ले लें, हर बार स्टूडेंट को मौका मिल जाए, तो कितना बड़ा काम हुआ। और सबसे बड़ी बात, लोक अदालत और कोर्ट के बीच में बहुत बड़ा अंतर क्या आया है। सामान्य व्यक्ति भी ये सोचता है भाई कोर्ट के चक्कर में नहीं पड़ना है, और उसका मतलब कोर्ट के चक्कर में मतलब वकील के चक्कर में नहीं पड़ना है। पता नहीं कब बाहर निकलूंगा, इसलिए वो सोचता है भाई अन्याय झेल लूंगा, लेकिन छोड़ो भाई मुझे अब नहीं जाना है। ऐसा बहुत बड़ा वर्ग है जिसको पता है कि मैं हकदार हूं, मेरा न्याय होना चाहिए, लेकिन वो हिम्मत नहीं करता है। लोक अदालत ने इस कमी को भर दिया है, जिसके कारण उसको लगता है कि हो सकता है कि यहां मैं एक बार हो आऊं। लोक अदालत ने इतने कम समय में एक ऐसी प्रतिष्ठा प्राप्त की है कि जहां पर नागरिक को प्रक्रिया में भी भरोसा है और परिणाम में भी भरोसा है। और ये ऐसी जगह है जहां 100% सेटिस्फेक्शन होता है। न्यायपालिका में एक को न्याय मिलता है, दूसरा नाराजगी के साथ घर जाता है। यहां होता तो वही है, लेकिन दोनों को संतोष मिलता है, चलो यार हो गया, बहुत दिन हो गए थे, छुट्टी हो गई। ये लोक अदालत की प्रतिष्ठा है। और इसलिए सामान्य मानवी को हम लोक अदालतों की ओर कैसे डाइवर्ट करें, ज्यादा लोग जाएं, छोटी छोटी बातों को करें। ठाकुर साहब से मेरा ज्यादा परिचय तो नहीं था, लेकिन इसी कार्यक्रम हेतु मुझे उनसे बातचीत करने का अवसर मिला। मैं हैरान था जी, इस विषय पर उनका जो इन्वॉल्वमेंट मैंने देखा, यानी लगाव देखा, यानी एक प्रकार का मिशन मोड में वो सारी बातें कर रहे थे। आज भी मैं सुन रहा था, वही मिजाज था। अगर ऐसा नेतृत्व केंद्र पर, राज्य स्तर पर मिलता है, तो मैं समझता हूं कि समस्याओं का समाधान अपने आप होता है। इंस्टीट्यूशन को ताकत मिलती है। कभी कभार किसी फ्रेमवर्क में से इंस्टीट्यूशंस रूप लेते हैं, और कभी कभार एक स्पार्किंग पॉइंट होता है जिसमें इंस्टीट्यूशन का गर्भाधान होता है। ये लोक अदालत उस पार्किंग पॉइंट में से पैदा हुआ है। किसी ने, 4 लोगों ने बैठ करके कागज पर लिख करके लोक अदालत का तो विकास नहीं किया, और बहुत सक्सेसफुल गया। अनिल जी गुजरात के जिक्र कर रहे थे, मैं वहाँ मुख्यमंत्री रहने का मुझे अवसर मिला। जब मैं वहाँ था, लोक अदालत में जो न्याय मिलता था वो 35 पैसे में मिलता था। 35 पैसा ओनली। यानी किसी भी गरीब से गरीब व्यक्ति को विश्वास हो जाता है, भाई कोई खर्चा नहीं हुआ, मेरा काम हो गया। अब कितना है मुझे मालूम नहीं, जैन भाई बता सकते हैं, शायद 35 पैसे बचा है कि और ज़्यादा हो गया है, ज़्यादा 1 रुपये तक तो अभी नहीं पहुंचा होगा। लेकिन ये सिद्धि छोटी नहीं है, और उसका कारण हर किसी ने अपना कुछ न कुछ छोड़ा, समय दिया, अपने बाकी जो प्रिविलेजेस होते हैं वो छोड़े, जाकर के जैसी गली मोहल्ला है वहाँ जाके बैठे। कई लोक अदालत तो ऐसी जगह पर है जहाँ पंखा भी नहीं है, चलती है लोक अदालत। क्यों? कमिटमेंट है। ये चीजें उजागर नहीं हुई है, और इसलिए इतनी बड़ी इंस्टीट्यूशन, और आप देखिए इतने कम समय में 15 लाख से ज्यादा लोक अदालत होना, 8.5 करोड़ से ज्यादा, मैं सही बोल रहा हूं, 8.5 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोगों को न्याय मिलना, और 8.5 करोड़ मतलब इन्हें वे 17 करोड़ हुए, क्योंकि 2 पार्टी आई है। ये बहुत बड़ा नंबर है जी, बहुत बड़ा नंबर है, और इसलिए इस व्यवस्था की अपनी एक ताकत है। आज कुछ नए इनिशिएटिव लिए जा रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर शासन भी न्याय के प्रति समर्पित हो, न्याय के प्रति सजग हो, तो रास्ते भी खुल सकते हैं। मैं अपना एक उदाहरण बताता हूं। मैं जब गुजरात में मुख्यमंत्री बना तो भूकंप के तुरंत बाद मुझे मुख्यमंत्री बनना पड़ा था। अब लाखों लोग तबाह हुए थे, सरकार ने पैकेज घोषित किया, लेकिन ये सवाल या निशान रहता है कि भाई सरकार ने कह तो दिया कि इसको ये टूट गया तो ये मिलेगा, ये मर गया तो ये मिलेगा, हाथ टूटा तो ये सब लिखा, कागज में आ गया। लेकिन अगर लोगों की शिकायत हो तो क्या करेंगे? तो उस समय मैंने हाई कोर्ट से रिक्वेस्ट की थी, मैंने कहा मुझे एक लचीली व्यवस्था चाहिए, अगर आप मेरी मदद कर सकते हैं तो उन्होंने कहा क्या? मैंने कहा कि हमारे भूकंप पीड़ित जो लोग हैं उनके लिए एक एम्बेड्समेंट की व्यवस्था हो, और सरकार की ये योजनाएं उसके पास रहें, वो चाहे तो सरकार आकर के उनको ब्रीफ करते कि भाई ये हमारा पैकेज है, और जिस किसी नागरिक को जो इसका हकदार है और उसको लगता है कि सरकार ने मेरे साथ न्याय नहीं किया है, उसके लिए आप ये व्यवस्था दीजिए। और मेरी तरफ से गारंटी है कि जब भी शिकायत करने वाला आपके पास आएगा इस एम्बेड्समेंट के पास, और सरकार की तरफ से हम कोई पेशी नहीं करेंगे, आप उनको सुनिए और आपको जो ठीक लगे हमें कहिए, हम फॉलो करेंगे। और आप हैरान होंगे, 30,000 लोगों के मसले पूरे हो गए, और भूकंप पीड़ित का एक भी केस नहीं चला, एक भी नहीं चला। अगर वही व्यवस्था न्याय अन्याय की चैनल में चली गई होती, सत्ता पता नहीं आज भूकंप वाले परिवार के लोग रहे भी नहीं होते और केस चलता रहता होता। लेकिन हाईकोर्ट ने इनिशिएटिव लिया, हमारी मदद की, न्यायमूर्तियों ने जिम्मे लेने के लिए समय दिया, भूकंप पीड़ित इलाके में गए और लोगों को व्यवस्था मिल गई। कभी कभार आउट ऑफ बॉक्स चीजें अगर हम विकसित करते हैं तो कितना परिणाम मिल सकता है, ऐसे कई उदाहरण मिलते हैं। मैं देख रहा था ठाकुर साहब जब कर्नाटक का उदाहरण दे रहे थे और बार बार बोल रहे थे 3,000 करोड़ रुपया पड़ा है, अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर का 3,000 करोड़ रुपया पड़ा है। वो बड़ी पीड़ा मुझे दिखती थी। मैं यहां आया साहब नई नौकरी पर, और मेरे ध्यान में आया गरीब मजदूरों के 27,000 करोड़ रुपया सरकार की तिजोरी में पड़ा है। मैं परेशान हो गया। 27,000 करोड़ रुपया गरीब व्यक्ति का। क्यों? कारण ये कि वो एक जगह पे नौकरी करता है, उसका कोई पीएफ वगैरह कट जाता है, 6-8 महीने के बाद कहीं और चला जाता है, 2 साल के बाद कहीं और चला जाता है। वो अमाउंट इतनी होती है कि यहाँ से गया है तो वापस आकर के लेने के लिए फुर्सत नहीं होती है। उसको भी लगता है यार 200 रुपये के लिए कहाँ जाऊँगा। ऐसा करते करते 27,000 करोड़, और वे ये कंस्ट्रक्शन के कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के नहीं थे, खुद के उसके अपने पसीने के पैसे थे साहब। सरकार संवेदनाहीन थी, आई एम सॉरी टू से। हमने आकर के कहा भाई उसका हक का पैसा उसको मिलना चाहिए। क्या न्याय डंडा मारे तभी हम सुधरेंगे क्या? क्या जजीज का टाइम लेकर के ही हम स्थितियों को बदलेंगे क्या? हमने एक व्यवस्था खड़ी की और मैं मानता हूं ये लंबे अरसे तक देश का बहुत बड़ा भला करेगी। हमने सभी लेबरर्स के लिए एक यूनिक आइडेंटिटी कार्ड नंबर दिया है। वो जहां भी जाएगा उसका बैंक अकाउंट उसके साथ चला जाएगा, ट्रांसफर होता जाएगा। और इसलिए उसके हक के पैसे लेने के लिए कभी और 27,000 करोड़ रुपए देने के लिए मैं लगा हूं, लोग नहीं मिल रहे भाई, आपके पैसे आप आए थे, कहां थे? कुछ नहीं, ऐसे ही पड़ा था। अब कोशिश कर रहा हूं मैं इनको, लेकिन आगे आने वाले दिनों में उनके पैसे जो भी जमा होते होंगे, वे नौकरी बदलेंगे, जहां जाएंगे शहर बदलेंगे, राज्य बदलेंगे, ये अमाउंट उनके साथ साथ चलती जाएगी। जब जरूरत पड़ेगी वो अपना विड्रॉ कर सकता है। और इसलिए हम ये जो हमारे अनुभव है लोक अदालत के हैं, लीगल एड के हैं, मैं चाहता हूं हमारी लॉ यूनिवर्सिटीज उसमें से कुछ ऑब्जेक्टिव सुझाव भी निकालें कि भाई ठीक है, ये 1000 प्रकार के लोग एक ही काम के लिए आते हैं, आप थोड़ी व्यवस्था में बदलाव करो ना, एक नियम बदलो, कितनों का न्याय हो जाएगा। तो हमारे ये जुडिशरी का जो बर्डन है वो भी हम कम कर सकते हैं, और क्वालिटी जस्टिस का जो हमारा इरादा है उसमें हम बल दे सकते हैं। और इसलिए सरकार और ये व्यवस्था दोनों के बीच में इतना संकलन चाहिए। जब इन चीजें ध्यान में आती हैं तो उसका उपयोग होना चाहिए। अभी मैं ठाकुर साहब से पूछ रहा था, डरते डरते पूछ रहा था, मैंने कहा साहब ये जो नए नए जजेज बनते हैं उनका जो रिक्रूटमेंट होता है, क्या कभी हम सोच सकते हैं क्या कि उसको पूछा जाए कि आपने फ्री लीगल एड में कितना समय, कितना काम किया, कितने गरीबों का भला किया? एक बार अगर ये मानदंड बन गया, भले 10 मार्क होंगे पूरे इंटरव्यू में, लेकिन नीचे हर एक को लगेगा कि भाई अब जुडिशरी में जाना है तो मेरी जवाबदारी, सामाजिक संवेदना, ये प्राथमिकता है, गरीब मेरी प्राथमिकता है। समय रहते अभी से रिक्रूटमेंट होगा तो 5-10 साल में हमारा प्राइम सेक्टर जुडिशरी का बन जाएगा, जिसमें गरीब 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 का ही न्याय ये विषय केंद्रस्थ हो जाएगा। बदलाव लाया जा सकता है। और इसलिए मुझे तो यहाँ बैठे बैठे जो विचार आए मैं बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन मुझे पूरी उसकी नीति गिटी मालूम नहीं है। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि हम ऐसी चीजों को हम कर सकते हैं। उसी प्रकार से कोई भी इंस्टीट्यूशन एक ही ढर्रे में नहीं रह सकती है, समयानुकूल उसमें बदलाव अनिवार्य होता है। सोचने के तरीके बदलने की आवश्यकता होती है। पुरानी चीज उत्तम ही है इसलिए उसको हम हाथ नहीं लगाएंगे, इससे बात बनती नहीं है। लोक अदालत इतना सफल प्रयोग, लीगल एड इतना सफल प्रयोग, लेकिन अगर हम ये कहें कि बस पूर्णता हो गई, फिर तो स्थगितता आ जाएगी। मैं ठाकुर साहब का अभिनंदन करता हूं, सिकरी साहब जैसे जिन जिन लोगों ने आपकी मदद की है उनमें उनका अभिनंदन करता हूं कि आप रांची जाए, ट्राइबल के साथ बैठे, आप चिंता करें कि समाज के कौन लोग हैं जिसको जरा हम प्रायोरिटी में लें। मैं समझता हूं ये एक छोटा काम नहीं है जो आपने किया है। आपने इंस्टीट्यूशन को प्राणवान बनाने का प्रयास किया है, एक नई ताकत देने का प्रयास किया है। हर व्यवस्था में निरंतर उसका दायरा बढ़ना चाहिए, उसका रूप रंग बदलने चाहिए, उसकी ताकत बढ़ती रहनी चाहिए। और ये काम आज आपने एक निश्चित रोड मैप के साथ नए ट्राइबल के लिए क्या करेंगे, जेल के अंदर जो लोग हैं उनके लिए क्या करेंगे, पहाड़ों में रहने वाले लोग हैं जिनको न्याय चाहिए उनको क्या करेंगे। धीरे धीरे विकसित होगा। और ये बात सही है, न्याय की बात छोड़ो साहब, हमारा देश ऐसा है, मुझे बताइए बैंक अकाउंट खोलना ये कोई कठिन काम तो है नहीं। बैंक की जिम्मेवारी है बैंक अकाउंट खोलना, नागरिक के लिए सुविधा है बैंक अकाउंट खोलना। बैंकों का राष्ट्रीयकरण को करीब 40 साल से अधिक समय हो गया, लेकिन इस देश के 40% नागरिक, उनका बैंक अकाउंट नहीं था। यानी फाइनेंशियल मेन स्ट्रीम की व्यवस्था से 40% लोग इस देश के बाहर थे। जैसा अन्याय सह रहा है उसे मालूम नहीं है कि मुझे कहीं न्याय भी मिल सकता है, ऐसे मिल सकता है, मेरे पास पैसे नहीं होंगे तो भी मैं न्याय पाने का अधिकारी हूं, उसको मालूम नहीं है। इस देश के 40% लोगों को मालूम नहीं था कि वो फटे टूटे कपड़ों के बीच भी बैंक के दरवाजे तक जा सकता है। इससे बड़ा दुर्भाग्य क्या हो सकता है। हमने अभियान चलाया प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना का, और आज मैं गर्व से कहता हूं कि इस देश के 100% करीब करीब, कहीं निकल जाए तो मैं नहीं चाहता हूं क्योंकि फिर मीडिया को काम मिल जाएगा, वो ढूंढ के लाएंगे कि मोदी कह रहा था लेकिन 2 परिवार बाकी रह गए। लेकिन मैं कहता हूं करीब करीब 100% लोगों के बैंक अकाउंट खुले हैं। और कभी कभी गरीब लोगों के विषय में हमारी सोच बदलनी पड़ेगी हमें। जब मैं प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना का काम कर रहा था और बैंकों ने भी बड़ी मेहनत की, पूरी ताकत से लग गए, वो खुद जाते थे, झोपड़ी में जाते थे, उसको पूछते थे तेरा बैंक अकाउंट नहीं, चल मैं खोलता हूं, क्योंकि एक टारगेट देकर के काम शुरू किया था। लेकिन उसमें एक सुविधा दी थी कि 0 बैलेंस से बैंक अकाउंट खोलेंगे, क्योंकि एक बार शुरू तो करे, वो मेन स्ट्रीम में आए। तो मैंने अमीरों की गरीबी भी देखी है, और मैंने प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना के अंतर्गत गरीबों की अमीरी भी देखी है। अमीरों की गरीबी का तो हमें बार बार पता चलता है, लेकिन गरीबों की अमीरी का पता बहुत कम चलता है। सरकार ने कहा था 0 बैलेंस से बैंक अकाउंट खुलेगा, लेकिन इस प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना में इन गरीबों ने 24,000 करोड़ रुपया जमा किया। 24,000 करोड़ रुपया। आप देखिए कितना बड़ा बदलाव लाया जाए, और ये सब समय सीमा में हुआ है जी। कहने का हमारा तात्पर्य है कि जस्टिस कहां, अकाउंट तक खोलने का बेचारे की हिम्मत नहीं थी। ये जो हमारा सामाजिक जीवन बना है, इसको कहीं न कहीं तो हमें ब्रेक करना पड़ेगा। हमें सबको एसिमिलेट करना पड़ेगा, सबको जोड़ना पड़ेगा, हर एक के लिए कुछ करना पड़ेगा। और उसमें जब आप इस प्रकार का इनिशिएटिव लेते हैं, मैं मानता हूं बहुत बड़ा फायदा है। ट्रांसजेंडर, आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं कि इनके प्रति कितनी उदासीनता है। परमात्मा ने उसके जीवन में जो दिया सो दिया, हम कौन होते हैं उसको अन्याय करने वाले। हमें व्यवस्था विकसित करनी पड़ेगी, कानूनी व्यवस्थाओं में बदलाव लाना पड़ेगा, नियमों में बदलाव लाना पड़ेगा, सरकार ने अपने नजरिए में बदलाव लाना पड़ेगा। और ऐसे समाज में कितने लोग होंगे कि जिनके लिए हम सब ने मिलकर के कुछ करना होगा। मैं आज ठाकुर साहब को, उनकी इस पूरी टीम को, और विशेष करके जिन्होंने आज अवार्ड प्राप्त किए हैं, उनको हृदय से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं। क्योंकि आपने जब काम किया होगा तब आपको भी पता नहीं होगा कि आपको कभी किसी मंच पर जाने का या सीनियर जजेस के हाथ मिलाने का मौका मिलेगा। आपके दिमाग में तो वो गरीब रहा होगा, और आज उस गरीब के दुख ने आपको बेचैन बनाया होगा, और इसलिए आपने कोर्ट जाना भी छोड़ दिया होगा, उस गरीब के घर जाना पसंद किया होगा, तब जाकर के आज आपको अवार्ड मिला होगा। और इसलिए आपके इस काम को मैं हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं, आपकी बहुत बहुत बधाई करता हूं। जुडिशरी में भी मैंने देखा है, मेरा गुजरात का अनुभव रहा, जिनके पास ये जिम्मेवारी होती है, मेरा अनुभव रहा है, उनका ऐसा कमिटमेंट होता है, इस काम को वो अपने यानी जैसे फैमिली मैटर हो उस रूप में देखते हो कि भी लोक अदालत हुई कि नहीं हुई, लीगल एड का काम हुआ कि नहीं हुआ। मैंने देखा है ये जुडिशरी का ये जो इन्वॉल्वमेंट है, यही इसकी सबसे बड़ी ताकत है, बहुत बड़ी ताकत है। और इसलिए पूरे देश में इस कार्य को जिन्होंने अब तक संभाला है, जो आज संभाल रहे हैं, जो भविष्य में संभालने वाले हैं, उन सबको मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
हृदय से धन्यवाद माननीय, आपके अपनेपन से भरे हुए संबोधन के लिए। आपके नेतृत्व में ये राष्ट्र अभिलाषा जरूर पूरी होगी माननीय, कि सूरज तक तैयारी होगी, ये सदी हमारी होगी। नाउ आई इनवाइट ऑनरेबल सुश्री जस्टिस जी रोहिणी, चीफ जस्टिस हाई कोर्ट ऑफ दिल्ली, टू काइंडली प्रपोज वोट ऑफ थैंक्स। कृपया आभार प्रकट करें।
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Union Law Minister, Sri Sadananda Gowda ji, Honorable Justice T.S. Thakur, Honorable Justice Anil Ardave, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The saying goes that all good things must come to an end. A wonderful program organized by NALSA on a very significant occasion of observance of Legal Services Day has now been concluded, and it is my pleasant duty to propose vote of thanks. I feel honored and privileged to have this opportunity to thank all the dignitaries and the distinguished guests who made this program memorable and successful with their gracious presence. 9th November of every year is observed as Legal Services Day to rededicate ourselves to the mission of access to justice for all. The uniqueness in this year's celebration lies in the innovative approach of NALSA in expanding the domain of legal services institutions and equipping them to act as a bridge between the needy and the government. It is a matter of pride for us to have Honorable Sri Narendra Modi ji, the dynamic and dedicated Prime Minister of India, as chief guest. His presence has added grace and magnificence to today's function. We walk together, we move together, we think together, we resolve together, and together we take this country forward, said Sri Narendra Modi ji, and his words reflect the aspiration and hope of the entire nation. Ever since he assumed office in May 2014, Sri Narendra Modi ji has embarked on a journey of all-round and inclusive development where every Indian can realize their hopes and aspirations. He is credited with making effective policy decisions, recognizing the important role of marginalized and most vulnerable sections of society, and the same are insignia of his ambitious vision to reduce extreme poverty, improve education, empower women and girls, and unleash India's true economic potential. It is rightly said, great reforms are brought by individuals, not by nations. This is precisely true with regard to the nation-building process initiated by Sri Narendra Modi. We are fortunate to have him today with us. His enlightening and highly motivating message rejuvenated every one of us to rededicate ourselves for the cause of promoting justice on a basis of equal opportunity. His kind gesture in sparing his valuable time and highlighting core issues in his address shows his keen interest in his resolve to improve the justice delivery system and access to justice for all. I express my profound gratitude to Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. Sri D.V. Sadananda Gowda, the Union Law Minister, is well known for his distinguished services to the country in diverse fields. In the last 1 year, the judiciary has had the enormous good fortune of his support and fullest cooperation in every endeavor. He has been kind enough to make it convenient to be a part of this program from day one and we are greatly benefited by the views and suggestions expressed by him. I sincerely thank Sri Sadananda Gowda ji for his wholehearted support. Honorable Sri Justice T.S. Thakur, the Executive Chairman of NALSA, is the driving force in organizing the observance of Legal Services Day in a constructive manner this year. He is a man of great sincerity and genuine affection. His unassuming manners and his judicial temper make him an ideal judge. He is a rare combination of subtle and penetrating intellect with a far-reaching breadth of law. We are indeed beholden to his lordship for guiding us all with his insightful ideas. This program could not have been successful without his enduring support, guidance, and supervision. We are extremely grateful to his lordship. We are also grateful to his lordship, Sri Justice Anil Ardave, Chairman, Supreme Court Legal Services Committee, for wholeheartedly associating himself with the 3-day program and motivating all the participants for implementation of the schemes launched by NALSA. I convey my heartfelt thanks to his lordship for his valuable guidance and his encouragement, which will certainly add a new drive to the working of Legal Services Authority. I thank all the honorable judges of the Supreme Court of India, present and former, my brother and sister judges from High Court of Delhi and other high courts who have graced the occasion and encouraged the participants. The participation of the executive chairpersons, member secretaries, district chairpersons and secretaries, the chief secretaries and their nominees in the 3-day program following the launch of the schemes of NALSA and deliberations thereon has resulted in great understanding of the scope and purport of the schemes and paved way for effective implementation of the schemes at ground level for the benefit of the needy. My heartfelt thanks to all of them. I thank all panel lawyers, NGOs, paralegal volunteers, and other participants for their wholehearted support. I thank the DRDO Secretary and Director General DRDO Dr. S. Christopher, Chief Engineer R&D Sri Ajay Singh, and Sri Karan Singh, Colonel Retired, and other officials and their team for all the arrangements and assistance rendered to us for conducting this program at this wonderful auditorium, without which the program would not have been possible. I thank Doordarshan and its Additional Director General, Dr. Mahesh Joshi, for arranging the direct telecast of this function. I also thank the print and other electronic media for covering this event. I thank all the other staff and the team of NALSA and Delhi State Legal Services Authority for all their efforts in making this program a great success. I thank each and everyone present here with utmost gratitude. Thank you.
National Legal Services Day, a reiteration of the right to access of law of every citizen of India. Graced by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. और उसके साथ ही दूरदर्शन की पूरी टीम की ओर से अलविदा।